welcome back to Mayhem with Maverick, brought to you by Mayhem Studios, LLC. It's been a while since I posted a video. Thanksgiving is past. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I hope no one ended up in jail over political views across the dinner table. Because honestly, when it comes down to it, Thanksgiving and any holiday is about the family coming together. Politics should never get involved. And these wackos that are like, oh, well, if your family voted for Trump, don't spend Thanksgiving with them. Then good. Live alone, eat your turkey breast, and you're going to realize one day that you're an idiot and that you should never have cut your family out just because they voted for somebody. But it's amazing the craziness and the mental health issues with some people in this country that there are women sterilizing themselves because Trump won, because they're afraid that Trump's government's going to try and control their bodies. If you can't see that that is a red flag, that you're going to sterilize yourself because someone won in an election over your person, you got problems. And those women that do that, especially the young women, you're going to regret it. Because one day, all of a sudden, your brain's going to pop and you're going to be like, I want to be a mommy. I want to have a family. And now you can't, which is fine because you can adopt. Because one of the things I said in many videos before, abortion isn't always the answer for birth control. You can put children up for adoption. So guess what? If you sterilize yourself and you decide, oh, I want children, there are plenty of kids out there to be adopted. So there's going to be your choice. But you're never going to have a natural child yourself because you mutilated your body over somebody who got elected. I mean, that's just beyond me. If Joe Biden was coming after male reproductive rights, I wouldn't cut my nuts off. Okay? No thanks. I like where they are. Get some help. But again, you reap what you sow. And most of those women are liberals and Democrats. Well, if you do that, you're not going to produce more baby Democrat and liberals. Well, that party will die out eventually then. But you know what? Trump keeps winning anyway. Time Person of the Year. Congrats. And I'm sure there are liberals' heads popping left and right. Oh, he's on the cover of Time. You're damn straight he is. Twice now. All right, so let's get into the thick of it. Hunter's daddy came and saved the day. He gave him a pardon. People like me and a lot of my friends, we knew this was going to happen. Joe Biden is a liar. Been lying to the country for years. Been lying to everyone, been lying to himself. They have said for years that they would not pardon him. In fact, here you go. Here's something right here.
But from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Well,
I just said no. I just answered.
The president would not pardon or commute the sentence for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying he would not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add.
So you can't trust the Biden administration, and it's just a riot and funny how they think we're so stupid. Now, ABC reported back in April President Biden was going to pardon Hunter, but they had to cover it up because they didn't want people to know. And every time that the right or anybody outside the liberal left screamed that the DOJ was corrupt and that they were using lawfare, we were called conspiracy theorists, we were called anti-Americans, we were told that there's no such thing, that the DOJ is fine, they're trustworthy. But yet in the statement that Biden released, giving his son the pardon, he said the DOJ is corrupt. He's the liar in chief. It is his DOJ that went after Hunter. And if Hunter is innocent, which Biden claims, and I'll read it to you, why did he admit guilt? In this pardon, it says, and I quote, I'm going to read exactly what President Biden said. For my entire career, I have followed a simple principle. Just tell the American people the truth. Well, you didn't. You lied to us for 4 years. They will be fair-minded. Here's the truth. I believe in the justice system. No, you don't, or you wouldn't have pardoned him. But I've wrestled with this. I also believe raw politics has infected this process, and it led to a miscarriage of justice. Hasn't that what Trump and many other people have been saying for 4 years? But only Hunter gets a miscarriage. Everyone else, they're just still guilty. And once I made this decision this weekend, there was no sense in delaying it further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and president would come to this decision. No, Joe, we don't. Because you lied to us. You say that you tell people the truth. You didn't. You lied for years. And you beat up people who claimed that the DOJ was corrupt. But yet you say that there was a miscarriage of justice. That raw politics came into this issue. Well, that's what we've been saying for 4 years as you attack Trump in multiple different states over ridiculous freaking things that people would have never been in charge of. New York City created shit to make him get in trouble for 34 counts that have never been charged against anybody before. Now, the best part is, folks, it's not just a pardon, okay? So now, Bill Clinton pardoned his brother back when he left office, right? Bill pardoned his brother, I think it was for some drug charges. A pardon is normally for a specific crime. And normally a person has served some time or done something and has either learned or has repented, whatever, right? No, Joe goes a lot larger than that. He gives his son a blanket pardon for 11 years. January 1st, 2014 to December 31st, 2024. And it says, for those offenses against the United States which he has committed or may have committed or taken part in during that period that I mentioned, including but not limited to all offenses charged or prosecuted by Special Counsel David Weiss, the United States District Court of the District of Delaware, and the United States District Court of the Central District of California. So what he did, folks, is he gave a blanket pardon for 11 years for crimes he got caught doing and was prosecuted for, crimes he hasn't been caught, and crimes that he may be caught for. He just gave him a blank pardon. That is ridiculous. And technically, up until December 31st, which is in 2 weeks, he could technically commit more crimes against the United States and get away with it. This is not how the pardon system's supposed to work. But he used an illegal tactic to help his son out by saying, well, I'm going to do this. Do you realize why January 1st, 2014 is so important on that pardon? Because in 2014 is the whole issue with Burisma and why Biden threatened a Ukrainian prosecutor and why Hunter Biden is even on the board of Burisma. This is proof that there's corruption in the highest amount in the Biden administration. Now, people want to say that, Hunter was a crack addict and he was suffering and therefore, he made mistakes. Well, first of all, the Democratic Party is very anti-gun, very anti-Second Amendment, in my opinion, based on the things I see. One of the charges was a gun charge that you pardoned him from now. Really? One case, there's IRS whistleblowers saying that they were investigating Hunter Biden and they were told to stop. Do you see the lies and the corruption within this thing? And again, claiming he was a crackhead and that he was a drug addict and that he didn't know what he was doing. This man sat boards of major corporations and was a naval officer in the United States Navy Reserve. Now, he got kicked out of the Navy Reserve because he was a drug addict. But you can't say that he was a crack addict and he had all these problems when he's sitting the board of Fortune 500 companies. That's not a crack addict. That's not a crackhead. That's a drug user that's using his addiction to get away with crime. This is just another reason why the Democratic Party lost the election. Because people are sick of being lied to. People are sick of being played. They're sick of the bullshit that comes out of the White House and the White House administration. This is why you don't trust the government. And this is why you don't trust the government about the drones that are going on right now. Let me explain something to you. I worked for the U.S. Navy for 27 years, and I worked for the local government for 20 years. You can't trust your government 100%. Okay? Some idiot in the government said, oh, the drones over New Jersey are just planes flying into Newark. Give me a goddamn break. Really? So then why are there drones flying over Connecticut? Why are there drones flying over New York? Why are there drones flying over North Carolina? I don't know of any Newark landing zone that goes over North Carolina. There's drones in California. There's drones in Nevada. Don't know any Newark airport landing zones that come through those states. And honestly, last night, December 12th, there were drones flying over my hometown of Warwick, New York. That's not a landing pattern for Newark Airport. Your government's lying to you. And here's a perfect example of also how they're lying to you. They're saying it's not our drones. And they're saying it's not our adversaries' drones. Well, then who the hell are they? If you could tell us it's not ours, and you could tell us it's not Iran, China, Russia, some third world country that's got an island off the coast of fucking Costa Rica, then you should be able to tell us who's doing it so that you can calm your citizens. But no, they're lying and covering up things because they don't want you to know the truth. Now, do I know the truth? Hell no. Maybe some of those were airplanes over New Jersey, but it's just way too convenient, way too often. And you're telling me all of a sudden people are woke enough to realize, hey, look, there's airplanes in the sky? Give me a break. You watch. Come January, when Trump takes presidency, all of a sudden we're going to find out. Or something's going to happen within the next couple weeks, and you're going to realize that the government, again, has been lying to you. Or more sightings. So, folks, do your own research. Look at those videos. Yeah, some of them look weird, but you can't tell me that private people are doing this. You have to use certain mentalities to figure this stuff out, right? There's rules about flying drones in this country, especially flying them in certain areas. So just open your mind and realize that the government's always not telling you the truth because they believe you're a child. That's the thing. The government treats you like children. They don't tell you everything. Just like your parents don't tell you everything as a kid. They don't want you to know everything because then you'll find out how corrupt they are. Okay, so get off that political thing, even though we're going to roll. Let's talk about the tale of two 26-year-olds, right? We have Daniel Penny and we have Luigi Mangione, or however you say this kid's name, all right? Two 26-year-olds in this country. Now, Daniel Penny, he was just found not guilty for the death of Jordan Neely. He subdued this guy on New York subway last year, and Penny's mentality was he was trying to protect his fellow citizens. Neely had threatened to kill people. Neely was obviously out of control. He was, later it was determined he was on K2. If you don't know what K2 is, it is a synthetic marijuana. And I have dealt with people that were on that as a police officer. They are out of control. It takes, tasing them. It takes multiple officers taking them down to get them in control. So Penny was a former U.S. Marine. He used a technique, the chokehold technique that he was taught in the Marine Corps to subdue Neely. But unfortunately, later down the line, Neely died. Now, people are going to scream and yell. This was racist. This was all about racism. Don't believe the BLM narrative, okay, folks? Because it wasn't about racism. There were black and Hispanics on the subway that were scared, that testified in court that they were scared. A black man helped Daniel hold Neely down, and there were 4 black people on the jury. So this wasn't about racism. What this was about was Neely was a mentally ill human being who was homeless in New York City. Okay? He was on the top 50. He was on the top 50 list of homeless and mentally ill people in New York City. Top 50 of 8 million people. So this kid was a problem in his own. All Penny wanted to do was stop him from hurting anybody. Okay? And if you haven't ridden a subway in New York City, you wouldn't understand what it's like to be on a subway and have someone losing control of themselves and being there and being underground and not being able to do anything. Most people are afraid to protect themselves nowadays because, look, you got Penny sitting in a court. You had a bodega owner a couple of years ago that was brought up on charges by Bragg for protecting himself while he was being robbed. You have to be able to protect yourselves. I tell people all the time when I was a police officer, it can take 2 to 10 minutes for police officers to respond based on where you are. You have a natural born right to protect yourself. And that's what Penny did. He protected himself. He protected everybody else. But he's being listed as a villain, right? But let's go to Luigi. Luigi. He murdered the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. Not only murdered him, he shot him in the back like a coward. Okay? Walked up behind him, shot him in the back. Coward. He ain't even a man. At least if you're gonna go kill somebody, be a man about it. Look him in the eye. Let him know, hey, I killed you. No, you're a coward. You shot him in the back. Here's my problem. People are making Penny to be a villain, and they're making this freaking Luigi guy a hero. I've seen people talking about it. Folks, you got it backwards. Penny is a hero. Luigi's he's a goddamn coward. First of all, Luigi didn't even have United Healthcare health insurance. Give me a break. You killed the CEO of an insurance company that you didn't even have insurance with. And if you're going to kill somebody because he's claiming, something about a claim, right? A claim got denied or something like that. I'm not saying you should kill somebody, but if you're going to go kill somebody, wouldn't you kill the guy that denied your claim, not the CEO? You really think Brian Thompson or the CEO of whatever insurance company denied his claim knew who he was? Probably doesn't even know who the claim adjuster is. This country is ridiculous that you're going to make an unhinged, angry young man that does not know how to deal with his anger, make him the hero, and you make a man who protected 10, 20 people, including children, a villain. But Luigi is also a perfect example of this upcoming generation and not knowing how to deal with their anger and deal with loss. It's just okay to go out and be angry and attack people. And that's one of the problems. And he's a perfect example of what an unhinged, angry person can do that hasn't been taught how to deal with his emotions. All right. So, since the Thanksgiving, there was a rivalry weekend of college football, right? Folks, that weekend was probably one of the worst examples of sportsmanship I've seen in years. Now, I get it. Rivalries are big, and you taunt each other, and I get it. It's part of the experience, right? But these young men, again, that generation has not been taught about accountability, winning and losing with grace. And it comes down to some of the games. Multiple games ended up in brawls after the winning team decided to plant a flag or do something in the center field of the losing team. Okay? I get it. It's a strong rivalry. But there's no reason to win like a loser and lose like a winner. If that makes any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Win gracefully, lose gracefully. That's what it should be, all right? No reason to disrespect the team's flag, disrespect the team's field, disrespect the team's mascot. The Michigan-Ohio game ended up in such a brawl, the police were pepper spraying the crowd. Guys, there's no reason for that. I feel bad for the cops that they had to do that. I feel bad for some of the players that got involved in it that really wasn't part of it. But typically, in my opinion, this is that thug mentality that should be squashed in sports. All right? Ever wonder why these young men end up in the NFL and act like spoiled brats and become criminals? Because they're allowing their young men like this to act like that during that weekend, right? Okay, speaking of the NFL and criminals, did anybody see the Jacksonville quarterback hit from the Texan Azeez Al-Shari? And I'm going to murder his name. Oh, wow. Right? Trevor Lawrence was sliding feet first, right? But was followed by an illegal hit that left Lawrence with a concussion. This video, if you watch, Al-Shaair just hits him. Now, we're known, right? It's known when a quarterback slides feet first, he's putting himself down. So you're not supposed to hit him. You're not supposed to hit him the way Al-Shaair hit him, right? Now, I'll play the video, and you can see it's just ridiculous. And it ends up in a fight, just like the college games. Watch. It's okay, so I'm having some little area.
Los Angeles has a 9-7 lead. We had a brawl here in the Texans-Jags game. You're going to see Azeez Al-Shaair come in and hit Trevor Lawrence as he was going down, and it is going down between.
I mean, that hit was so uncalled for. And here's what the NFL said. Video shows you striking the head and neck area of Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence after he clearly goes down in a feet-first slide. You led with your forearm and helmet and delivered a forceful blow to the head and neck area of your opponent when you had time and space to avoid such contact. He did. And this isn't the first time that Al-Shaair has done this. He has... Sorry, I got a little wound up and excited. So the problem is that he's not stable enough to be on the field. I mean, let's be honest. He did that hit. Then as he's being led off the field, he grabbed another Jaguar by the face mask, pulling him down. He got into several confrontations by leaving the field and got a 3-game unpaid suspension for his antics. But folks, this isn't the first time that he's been out of control. He's been fined multiple times. He got fined for a late hit against Tony Pollard of the Titans. He got fined for punching Rashawn Johnson of the Bears. And he got fined for a late hit against the rookie Bears quarterback, Caleb Williams. This guy's a thug. He shouldn't be on the field. He obviously can't control his emotions, and he attacks other players. This is unacceptable. Again, you're not teaching these men, or when they're young, how to behave. This man has a 3-year, $34 million contract. Stop being a thug. Just play football. Play the game what you're being paid to play for. And for God's sakes, you don't bring up your past and how you were homeless in Tampa. You're a grown man and know how the rules are. Act like a man. This is one of the reasons I stopped watching the NFL for years, because they just allow the thuggery to continue. And I'm always famous for calling the NFL what it is, the National Felon League. But I love my Bucks, and I have my season tickets, and I'll watch them. But Jesus, we need to really hold these guys accountable for acting like thugs. Our young men and our boys are watching them. And there are girls that watch football that are looking at these men as examples. And they're not good examples. We're losing our children to thugs and thuggery. All right. Since my last broadcast, Chuck Woolery passed away. And many of you don't know who Chuck is. Here he is right here. He was the host of so many TV shows. I remember him growing up. Thank you, sir, for great memories. All right, folks, with the holiday season in full swing, I want you to be careful when you're shopping, okay? As a police officer, I've seen so many different things happen to people as they're Christmas shopping. Note where you park your car. Remember where you park it. Remember what doors you came in to the mall or the store. I don't know how many times we found people on the opposite side of the mall. They came out the roll door and they're like, oh, my car was stolen. No, it's on the other side of the mall. Okay. Don't wander around looking for your car. Try to remember where it is and go directly to it. Have your keys in your hand. Do not get to your car and fumble around looking for your keys. The people that want to rob you, that's what they're looking for. So you have your keys in your hand. And as you're walking up to the car, get ready, unclick it, because most cars are, unless you still have to do your keys, unlock the car, get in the car as quickly as possible. If you see someone approaching you, don't get in your car. Keep walking. Walk away. Walk back to the mall where it's lit, where there's people. You know, if you don't want to go out by yourself, I know there's going to be a lot of cops that are going to hate me for saying this, but if it's late and there's no one else out, and you're like one of the last people to leave the mall, and you don't feel comfortable, call the police and ask for help. And I know a lot of my friends are going to go, oh, Jesus, Mike, why did you say that? Listen, it's not about always chasing down crackheads and freaking and bad people. It's also helping out our citizens. If you see a group walking out, walk out with a group. Ask people if they'd be willing to walk you to the car. You'd be surprised. My wife hates me at times because I am just a natural helper. And if I see people like that, if I see a woman walking by herself and she seems nervous, or she says, sir, can you help me? I immediately help. And it drives my wife nuts. I do it all the time. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There are more good people on this planet than there are bad people. And there are more people like me out there that will be more than willing to walk you to your car if you feel unsafe. So please, protect yourself, okay? Speaking of the holidays, I got a big question for everybody. I love cranberry sauce. Can someone explain to me why Ocean Spray cranberry sauce is like this? Now, what do I mean is like this? Why is the bottom of the can on the top? And why is the top of the can on the bottom? Does anyone know? This is the only can in my life that I've ever found like this. Everybody else is like this. So you can put your can opener on and you twist it around here. No, the top of the can, for whatever reason, the top of the can is an actual bottom. Anybody can explain that? Hey, DM me. Email me, send me, tell me, explain it to me, because you know what, I'm 52 and I just don't get it. And I know I'm not the only one, because it's the typical joke, because I'm the only person in my family that eats this. My wife doesn't, my son doesn't, my in-laws don't. Whenever we have family holidays, I'm the only one who eats this. But I bring the joke up every time because it just doesn't make sense to me. Guys, I hope you have a great holiday. Merry Christmas. That's right. I said Merry Christmas because I'm a Catholic and I believe in Christmas. If you like what you saw, hit the like button, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. Guys, I love you. See you next time.